Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 16 to 20 of chapter 3. Evam pravartitam chakram Nanuvartayati hayah Aghayurindriya ramah Mogham partha sajivati Yastvat maratireva syad Atmatriptascha manavah Atmanyeva cha santushtah Tasya karyam na vidyate Naiva tasya krite narthah Na krite neha kaschana Na chasya sarva bhuteshu Kaschidharthavyapashrayah Tasmadasaktah satatam Karyam karma samachara
कार्यं कर्म समाचर
असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म
असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म
परमाप्नोति पूरुषः
परमाप्नोति पूरुषः
कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम्
कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम्
आस्थिता जनकादयः
आस्थिता जनकादयः
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. We are doing verse number 18, wherein he is deeply explaining what is the inner state of a spiritually evolved person. This is not meant for you to judge others whether they are spiritually developed or not. That's how the mind will usually function. The mind constantly wants to judge others. So even when you come across the great spiritual truths, the first reaction is to use them and judge others. Who's spiritual, who's not spiritual. This verse or these kinds of verses are meant for you to find out whether you are growing spiritually or not. So a non-sadhak's approach would be to learn all this and keep judging others. A sadhak's approach would be to learn all this and not judge himself or herself also, but do self-analysis, self-study. That process is called swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means studying oneself. So these are all very wonderful tools with which you can study yourself. It's a study, it's an exploration, not a judgment. So whether you judge others or whether you judge yourself, you are losing that focus from the main goal. You have taken this human birth not to keep judging. You have taken this wonderful birth to explore, study and learn. This is something which you need to understand fully. The mind by itself, that is when it is not trained properly, it keeps on judging. So you judge yourself first, then you judge others, you judge your spouse, you judge your children, you judge your friends, you judge your enemies. The very word enemy itself, the very relationship of an enemy comes because of judgment only, no? You judge your colleagues. You judge people unconnected to you. Some well-known people, celebrities, who are no way connected to you, but you sit and judge them. You have strong views whether what they are doing is right or wrong. And this danger, or I would say this disease of judgment, that is having a judgmental attitude, spreads further and you start judging the guru also. See, we are going to have the Guru Purnima, the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. So it is very important for you to learn this quality and remove all judgments from your mind. Only then you can receive the grace of the Guru Shakti fully. So you judge the Guru and then you judge God also. Wherein people talk about which God is superior. Is Shiva superior or Vishnu superior? So one person says Shiva is only superior, another person says Vishnu is only superior. This person quotes one Purana, that person quotes another Purana or certain other scriptures. So all the scriptural knowledge which they have gained ultimately has been used to judge. And the more you get into such judgments, that stifles your personality. It doesn't allow your consciousness to expand. Understanding someone, understanding a person's psychology so that you deal with that person better, that is different. But judging a person and branding the person, having very fanatic ideas and expecting everybody to fit into those ideas, otherwise I will not have any respect for them, I will not have any respect for their views. That kind of a closed-mindedness is a big block when it comes to sadhana. A sadhak who is rigid, who is close-minded, cannot get the grace of the Guru Shakti. It is the pure, innocent, childlike mind which can receive the divine grace. Everyone wants to be close to God. As a sadhak, I'm saying, every sadhak wants to be close to God. Every sadhak wants to develop spiritually. Every sadhak wants to be close to the Guru. When can you get that closeness? It is only when your mind becomes spotless. What spoils that purity is constant judgment. So that is why the great yogis said, first you should love yourself. And when I say first, it's not necessarily in chronological order. I am just putting it as first and second point. It's not that you first love yourself and then practice towards others. It is not like that. When I say first love yourself, what is meant is without that basic thing, you cannot love others. So self-love is different from tolerating your weaknesses. Actually, if you love yourself, you will genuinely start overcoming your tamasic and rajasic qualities because you know that that is not good for you. A person who loves himself or herself will not be lazy, will not pamper himself because he knows that that is harmful. So first point is you learn that quality of love, you apply it to yourself, and simultaneously when you interact with others also, you should apply the same principle of love. So the more you love yourself, the better would become your sadhana. You would do your sadhana on a daily basis with a lot of intensity. See, whenever you love someone, you will want to do good for the other person, that person. So when you love yourself, you will start doing good to yourself. And what is the best thing which can do to yourself? Sadhana, receiving the higher grace. Some sadhaks ask me, sir, how to become consistent in sadhana and all that. You are not consistent in your sadhana because you have not understood the value of sadhana. Just because you have been attending these sessions for many years doesn't necessarily imply that you have understood the value of this. And when you are doing your sadhana, supposing the ego comes up, you feel superior. Oh, my spouse, he or she is not doing sadhana, useless. Immediately the Guru Shakti will come and protect you. It will give you that inner awareness. The Guru will guide from within. Listen, this is a dangerous thought. The reason why you are doing your sadhana is to remove the ego. Now you're becoming rigid. You're getting a superiority complex. See, the guidance from the Guru is both external and internal. The Guru Shakti manifests as a person outside, and the Guru Shakti functions as an energy, pure energy from within. And that keeps on guiding you. It will guide you, the Guru Shakti will guide you, or even the Guru will guide you only when you become very pure. That is when your bhavana is pure. This kind of a guidance will constantly be provided to a true sadhak. So here he is talking about the state of a spiritually evolved person, the high, who has reached the infinite dimension. Here also the ego can come. I have understood this better. But nobody else knows what spirituality is. Why do you need to encourage such thoughts? Okay, some person doesn't know what spirituality is. What do you have to do with that? You should learn to put your blinkers on. It is your relationship with the infinite. It is your relationship with the Guru Shakti. Nothing else really matters. Because if you really think about it, what are you going to take when you die and when you move on? Whatever you acquired, you're going to leave everything here. The only thing which you'll take is your knowledge and your ignorance also. Whatever sadhana you have done, those qualities, everything you will take forward into the next birth. So use all these things. Be very detached. Whether you like it or not, that is the only method, because you will have to leave everything one day, or they will leave you in parts, sometimes. So it's not that detachment is a better way of functioning, that is the only way of functioning. So you will be blessed with the powers of detachment when you gain that focus, when you stop judging, especially when it comes to a spiritually evolved person. You should never judge, because you are not in a position to judge. See, all these things which he is saying are very, very deep inner qualities. Now, how are you going to form an opinion? You will form an opinion just based on externalities. That is why the great masters say, don't waste your time on all this. Here you are. Last week I was explaining about Jivatma, So I am the individual soul, the Jivatma, and I am contacting this world. The world consists of beings and objects. What am I going to learn? How am I going to expand my consciousness? How to evolve? These should be occupying your mind, these kinds of thoughts. Instead, so many things are occupying your mind today. And if you really think about it, when you die and go away, none of those things will really matter. See, when you are alive, if you can get that clarity, it will automatically give you the detachment. What is the most important thing you don't have time to pursue? The only important thing. The unimportant things, you're constantly worrying, and you feel sad, you feel joyful, so many things are going on. The masters are not saying don't acquire whatever you're acquiring from the world, no, but do it with that detachment. That is what is the clear message from this verse. What stands out when he says, for him there is no motive to act or to not act here. There are no beings or objects which he is dependent on. What is that one factor which stands out? It is nothing but detachment. He functions in the world, but he is totally detached, unattached. In the coming verses, he'll be saying that do your activity without any attachment. All that we will be seeing. These principles will be repeated again and again. So utilize whatever is being given to you every Sunday to make a study of yourself. This is the path of self-exploration. So explore yourself, study about yourself, and learn the lessons. Keep growing spiritually. It's an inward growth. So, another thing is, when we are reading these verses, there is a possibility of a misconception. Whatever explanation is given, still the mind will go back to the same old wrong ideas, And the misconception which people get into is that a spiritual person is kind of emotionless, a dry person because he has no motive to act or to not act. Fortunately, he is putting not act here to balance out the thing so that you you pause there and question. Still, the impression which the mind gets is he has no life. There are no beings or objects he is dependent on. He is a kind of a dry person. You can't imagine a spiritual person to be lively, full of life, full of enthusiasm. The moment you talk of a saint or a sage, you only think of a very serious, morose person, a person who's quiet, who doesn't do anything. That's how your beliefs are. And when you read these things superficially, that only strengthens that wrong belief. So that is why in the previous verse he talked about happiness, how that person revels, how that person is in a state of bliss. We saw all that. So there are two words. One is sushka. Sushka means being dry. The other thing is rasa. Rasa means having a lot of life. Rasa means taste, taste for life, joy, happiness, that enthusiasm, everything put together, rasaha, that essence. So when you say shushka, it implies dryness. When we talk about rasaha, it implies so much of life and enthusiasm. So generally, people think spirituality means a state of dryness. So you should be careful when we are getting into a lot of depth here into these principles. The basic concept, the base should be very clear that this is not a state of shushka, dryness. This is a state of rasaha. Actually, the Taittiriya Upanishad, when he describes the Supreme Being, the infinite Supreme Reality, he says, Raso vai saha, that infinite being is rasaha. Indeed, vai rasaha. So, rasaha has been given so much of importance in the Shastras to say that this is not dry philosophy. In the name of Jnana Yoga, some people become very dry, For everything, they'll keep talking philosophy, just empty words. That's what Shakespeare said. Words, words, words. Means just simply using words in a dry way. What does that mean to you? How has it transformed you? See, when you say, for example, cheer, are you feeling that emotion of cheer? When when two people greet each other, it's become a very mechanical thing. Good morning, they say. They really don't feel it. Are you feeling it from your heart? Oh, this morning is good. How are you? Fine. How are you? Fine. If two people meet 5 times a day, it's a routine thing, How are you? Fine. How are you? Fine. Are you feeling that? then that is called a state, rasaha. So when you are approaching this verse, this is a very important thing in the yogic approach. We approach these verses with the attitude of rasaha, not shushka, not in a shushka way. And when you learn this, you will approach life itself in that way, not in a dry way, but with that essence, with that juice. Rasaha means juice. In Tamil we say, chakkayala nalla pirinjitaan. When you take a sugar cane, for example, all the chakka means the juice, the rasaha has been taken out once the juice has been made. We commonly use these terminologies, but we really don't realize the depth of what these words mean. So, at the base, you should understand that our approach is one with rasaha, not in a shushka way. That is the difference between a philosophy professor and a philosopher. A true philosopher will have a lot of life. A philosophy professor will just be burdened with a lot of information which he has gathered from books. This is the difference between a pandit and a saint. A pandit is just burdened with a lot of knowledge. It could be the knowledge of the scriptures also. I know many people who have read a lot of scriptures, but that only becomes a further burden. Earlier at least they knew less, now they know more. Everything has become like a luggage, Your life becomes so complicated. Whereas a saint is one who has that rasaha. See, when the supreme infinite reality is a very source of happiness, is a very source of rasaha, when you approach it, how can you be dry? It is impossible. That's why, if you take Goddess Saraswati, she is a goddess of knowledge. She is a personification of knowledge, the energy of knowledge. Now, they have not portrayed her as a dry person. She has the Vedas in one hand. In the other hand, she has a veena. Veena which gives out divine vibrations, music. So, knowledge and rasaha have to go together. It's a very beautiful depiction. Devotion gives that feeling. Devotion gives that life. It is only when you combine knowledge and devotion that you truly grow. So Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati, Saraswati Shakti, actually represents the true wisdom, which is a combination of knowledge, intellection and devotion, represented by the veena instrument. From veena you produce music. So logic is also there and the emotion, the devotion is also there. So that is what is a perfect combination. That's when you gain true wisdom, not when you're dabbling with these ideas as mere ideas in a dry way. So these principles should help you to live your life with more intensity, with more rasaha. If that is not happening, if you are becoming dry, shushka, then means your approach is not correct. You will have to look into it. Where am I going wrong? You know, several years back, when I had been to Australia for a talk, there were some reporters who met me, who had taken an appointment, and they came wherever I was given a room. So they came there. And they had attended the talk the previous evening and they were quite inspired. So when they came, I asked them, so are you going to ask questions as reporters, purely as reporters, or are you also from your heart level, have you got interested in this? So that question itself was something new to them. They said nobody has ever asked such a question. So they looked at each other. It was a lady and a man. So they just looked at each other and they said, no sir, we are very inspired. We attended yesterday when we came for the talk, we came only as reporters. But as we were hearing you, it really genuinely started inspiring us. I said, exactly. So when you ask me questions, it shouldn't be just for the sake of, finishing an interview. You should also put your heart and soul when you're asking questions. That is what spirituality is all about. And when I am answering, it shouldn't be just for the sake of answering. Then that kind of an interview will benefit people. See, your motive should be to do good to people. So yes, these are the great truths of life. Let us now play a small part in spreading that to as many people as possible. So if you have that rasaha, that kind of an approach, then the very interview will become so deep, so meaningful. Actually, as I was saying this to them, they said the interview is already started because this is the first message we are getting. Then I continued, I told them, it's not only with respect to this interview. In every aspect of your life, start putting your heart and soul into it. Put your emotion. Use your intellect and use your emotions also. So when I was saying this, that person who was interviewing that man, he put in an observation. He said, sir, when I was reading about you, what attracted me so much was, on one hand, you're a mathematician, you have a mathematics background. On the other hand, you're a psychologist, you've done your master's in psychology, and music, you do the yoga sankirtan music, and music also is a part of your life. I told him I'm not so formally trained in music, but yes, it's very much a part of my life. So he said this approach itself was something which was so unique because it looks like two opposite things, mathematics and music, for example. So he wanted to ask a question about that, but he said as soon as we came and you told about this principle of life, the rasaha, immediately my question has been answered. So in life, all these aspects are important. Logic is also important. But emotions are also equally important. When you combine them, that is when you truly live your life. That is called rasaha. Otherwise, it is just a life of shushka, dryness. So when you get married, there should be a lot of rasaha there, not a dry relationship. When you should examine all the aspects of your life. You're going every day to work. Is it shushka or is the rasaha there? Am I looking forward to it or am I just functioning mechanically? Am I relating to my spouse in a mechanical way or every time am I approaching it in a fresh way? Am I dealing with my children in a mechanical way with a lot of stress or am I looking forward to that experience? Same thing when you come every Sunday. Is there a freshness in my approach or am I just mechanically, oh Sunday, I have to know, some people, that is a self-imposed mechanical attitude. So to such people I tell them, you skip one Sunday, it is okay only. What is it? Just mechanically you're doing it. So when you see a master, a yogi, he has a lot of rasaha. The eyes will always be sparkling. And everything which he says, which he does, there'll be so much of energy behind it. So, as sadhaks, you should start developing this quality of rasaha within you. You will not only benefit from these verses, but you will see phenomenal results in every aspect of your life if you start increasing that rasaha element within you. So whenever you get into this shushka element, which will manifest as dryness, laziness, a kind of mechanical attitude, considering duty as a burden or work as a burden, all these things are manifestations of shushka energy. So the moment you find those things happening in your life, in any aspect of your life, immediately become alert. What was said in verse 18, we should have that rasaha. So Lord Krishna is giving out these verses with full rasaha. But if you approach it with a dry attitude, you will really not receive the higher energy. When we started the Bhagavad Gita several years back, the time it was live in the auditorium, no? So I mentioned that this is not going to be like a regular, usual, studying of the Bhagavad Gita as a text. No. We are going to recreate that energy. See, just imagine if Lord Krishna were to be here right in front of you and he gives you the Bhagavad Gita, or we are witnessing the conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. How inspiring it will be. What will be the energy level? Have you ever even imagined that? So I mentioned to everyone, this is not going to be mere study of Bhagavad Gita. We are using the Bhagavad Gita to study life. That's why we call it as a manual of life. We are going to recreate that same energy. 5,000 years back, Lord Krishna gave this to Arjuna. We are reading it now. It should not be read in a dry way. That rasaha should be there. So even now we are going to have the Guru Purnima sadhana, yogic sadhana. Approach it with full enthusiasm. Oh, I am really blessed. We are going to do the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. It's a very rare opportunity, Guru Purnima, everybody just simply celebrates like another festival or simply just saying thanks to the Guru. It's not merely that. It is absorbing that higher Guru Shakti, that energy. So that sadhana is going to be done. You're getting exposed to that. Wow, I'm so blessed. If you think that way, the very experience will get transformed into an extremely powerful one for you. Experiment and see. Just practice this and see. It is by experimenting. See, whatever I'm telling you, it is by experimenting with these things that you will learn it fully. So, what is he saying here? There are no beings or objects which he is dependent on, because he is dependent on the source of true happiness. That is what we were talking of rasaha. Raso vai saha, the Taittiriya Upanishad. What an amazing mantra that is. In that one line, he is giving one of the most magnificent aspect of the infinite. That gives you the goal, and that also gives you the path also. It purifies your approach. It ensures that your approach becomes perfect. That is the power of the words of these great masters, the great yogis and siddhas. It may look as if they are just talking casually, but no. Everything which they say has so much of power because it is said with complete rasaha. So this person is totally dependent on the infinite, and the infinite is the true source of joy and happiness. That being the case, why would he be dependent on the world for his happiness? No way. He is in a state of independence, freedom. He functions in the world. He relates with people. He relates with various objects. Everything is done as perfectly as possible by that person. But he is totally independent of anyone or anything. He is completely attuned or awakened to that infinite consciousness. He has reached the state of Buddhahood, we can say. Buddha means the awakened one. Buddha actually doesn't refer to one individual. Many saints, many masters were there. All of them were awakened ones. So your inner awakening is what he's talking about. So he is using the word vyapashraya. Vyapashraya, we have translated it as dependence. Now, we will go a little more into the depth of the principle of vyapashraya. It will be extremely inspiring for all of you. We'll use the yogic approach and go into the depth of it. So, when I say going into the depth of it, not mere intellectual analysis, but with rasaha. See, this is a very important point which I want you to absorb. Only then you will benefit maximum. So, vyapashraya, how is this word formed? Vyapashraya is fundamentally revolving around the principle of shraya. Shrayaha means taking refuge, taking shelter, asylum, protection. The word Shrayaha means taking protection. What is an asylum? Asylum is a place which gives protection. You take shelter. Now, he is using the word Vyapashrayaha. It's very beautifully constructed. The very word Vyapashrayaha actually implies that he is taking shelter from the world. I'll explain to you how the very word is constructed. Then you will be able to understand the depth. So first of all, Shrayaha means taking refuge in something, taking shelter. Now, Ashrayaha, when the moment you add the prefix A to Shrayaha, now the prefix A indicates intensity, that is, it emphasizes on the principle of Shrayaha. Shrayaha means taking refuge, taking shelter. Ashrayaha means it emphasizes that whole principle or the whole act of taking shelter. So that is the first development here. First is Shrayaha, and then he puts a prefix there which is Ashrayaha. So much of emphasis. Why is that? Your mind is constantly seeking shelter of something. What are you taking shelter from? All that we will come to later. But the basic or inherent necessity for the mind is that it wants some support. The mind feels very insecure without a support system. You're constantly wanting relationships. Why? Because you want emotional support. You're wanting money. Why? Because you want financial support. People find that if they don't work, there's too much of boredom that makes them very insecure. See, you should study yourself, then only you can understand the psychology of your own mind. Your mind's nature is to seek shelter, seek support. Today you are seeking it in the wrong channels, and we are going to learn to direct the mind to the right channel. But first, you need to understand that the mind requires support. Without a support, the mind will become highly stressed due to insecurity. You require a friend, you require this experience, you require that experience. Everything is actually nothing but giving you some form of support. So, Shrayaha is an inherent need of the mind. That is why he has taken that up. You can't avoid it, in other words. So, he has added that prefix, Ashrayaha. He has emphasized on that. Without Ashrayaha, nobody can function. Without Ashrayaha, nobody can function means without some form of support, either gross or subtle or in some way, the mind will become highly restless. So, just by adding that prefix to Shrayaha, giving emphasis to the tendency of seeking support or shelter. Now, what is the message there? Is by giving importance to that, by emphasizing on that, he is telling you this is how your mind functions. First, you need to understand that. See, many people ask, "Sir, how to surrender and all?" Surrender itself comes only when you understand that your mind cannot function without support. If you don't surrender to the higher, you will be surrendering to something else. Why are you gaining knowledge? Again, that gives you support. What is the motive? Your mind is constantly seeking shelter, it's seeking refuge in something, it wants a support. So, to make you understand the psychology of your own mind, he doesn't merely say Shrayaha, Ashrayaha. With so much of emphasis, he says that. The full word is Vyapashrayaha, that we are going to fully see it. But first of all, one is Shrayaha, support. That is like reading about this principle in a book. Ashrayaha. Right? Why is he emphasizing so much? It turns your mind inward. It turns your very understanding inward. What's happening to me? What's happening within my mind? What is my mind looking for? Oh, it is constantly looking for support. This is a very important psychological principle, because even if you really understand this and crack this, you will have the blueprint ready to become a yogi, because a yogi understands that this is what the mind is looking for, and he finds the source of that. Where is that which the mind is looking for? And he puts all his efforts, sadhana, to achieve that. That is why this principle which he is giving here has so much of relevance to your sadhana. So Shrayaha is merely technical. Ashrayaha, putting so much of emphasis on that, makes you very alert. It helps in turning your focus inward. Instead of trying to understand Shrayaha merely as a principle outside you, now Ashrayaha, he is forcing you, by laying emphasis on that, he is forcing you to turn inward. What is happening within me? How is my mind functioning? Then, after Ashraya, there are two more things which he has added. Vyapashraya is a full combination, right? Vyapashraya, V, it is V is another prefix, but prior to that, apa ashraya. So after Shraya, he puts A, and then that becomes Ashraya. To that he adds Apa. Apa plus Ashraya, that becomes Apashraya. Then we will further go and see what he has done with another prefix V also. So what is this Apa? Apa is very interesting. It means away, moving away, going off the track. The moment you say apashraya, it means, see, shraya means shelter, wanting shelter. Ashraya means the mind, that is the mind's tendency, it is constantly seeking support. But apashraya means it is going in the wrong direction, off the track. It's moving away from the center. No doubt the mind is seeking support, but it is seeking it in the wrong place. It's moving in the wrong direction. That is the meaning of apa. It's moving away. On one hand, it wants support, but it's moving away from it. It's a kind of a contradiction. But that helps you to understand your own mind better. See, you want to go from your place to another place. Let's say you want to go to place X. Fine, that is your intention. But what you're doing is you're just moving in the opposite direction. Supposing X is towards the left, now you're starting to move in the right direction. Why is it so important to understand this? Only if you understand this, you will be able to move in the proper direction to reach your destination. So, Shrayaha means seeking support. Ashrayaha means that is the tendency of your mind. Apashrayaha means, but it is moving away from the source of support. That is what it's indicating. See, you want to drink some tea. Let us say you're walking on the road, you feel like drinking tea. Now there is a tea shop there. So that is the source of tea. It's just a simple example, okay. Now don't extend this example and say, no, sir, tea, I can make tea at home. See, don't take the example beyond its context. So there, when you're walking on the road, there is a tea shop. That is what is a source of tea for you. So you feel like drinking tea at that moment. So you'll have to go to that tea shop, order tea and have your tea. When you're wanting tea, instead of moving towards the tea shop, apashrayaha means you're moving away from the source of whatever you're seeking. See, just the word apashrayaha is so deep, it makes you think so deeply, it helps you to go within and understand what's happening fully. On one hand, you're seeking support, shelter, protection, but on the other hand, you're always feeling insecure. Why is that? The people who achieve maximum, they feel more insecure if you read their interviews. A top person, when he was asked, how do you feel? You've come to the top. That I feel very lonely, insecure, he said. Shakespeare said this, many years back when he wrote his plays. Uneasy is the head that wears the crown. What is he talking of? That lack of support. The mind is constantly looking for shelter. But yet, the shelter means that security. But yet, it always feels insecure. You have to at some point of time pause and ask, why is that? I'm always wanting happiness, but I end up only getting more stressed. That is what is apashrayaha indicating to you. The reason is you're wanting something, but you're moving away from the source which can give you that. Apa means away, going off the track. And then he puts one more prefix. Vi apashrayaha. Vi means that is then together in the sandhi it becomes vyapashrayaha. Vi is a further intensifier. So when he talked about shrayaha, he put a, emphasis was there. Now when he says apashraya, he puts the prefix vi to say that he is intensifying the meaning of that. Means he wants you to understand the gravity of the situation. Throughout your life, you're looking for happiness, you're looking for freedom, you're looking for independence, there's a support, the shelter, protection. But what are you doing in life? You're just moving in the opposite direction. What are you getting in life? Stress. Today the stress factor is increased so much. So that's why he is intensifying, so that you become fully aware of what is happening. This ancient wisdom, the yogic wisdom, is not a choice. It is a necessity, because that, you see, for whatever you're seeking, which is happiness, shelter, protection, this alone can give you that. Some people say, oh, I am not interested in this. It's like saying, see, you want to go somewhere. You have decided that. Now you're moving in the wrong direction. Now somebody is giving you the map and then you go to the right, in the right direction. No, I'm not interested in these maps and all. I'm not interested in knowing the direction. Then something is wrong with you. So our masters have given out these truths not as a choice, not as an option. They are saying it is a must for every individual to get acquainted with this wisdom, because this is telling you where the source of whatever you're seeking is. And what are you seeking in life? You're seeking happiness, you're seeking freedom, you're seeking independence. That's what is meant by Shrayaha, the protection. You're seeking that inner shelter. Where is it? This wisdom helps you to find that. That's why the final prefix vi apashrayaha, it gives you that punch. This sadhana is not an optional subject. In school, colleges, main subjects are optional. You can take this whatever you want. It's not like that. This is the main subject of your life. This is talking about living. This is the science of living. Without this, you cannot really live your life fully. The Upanishads are called Vedanta, means the end portion of the Vedas, that contains the very philosophy of life, the very technique of how to live your life in a more purposeful way, in a more full way. How do you get whatever you want? It's like, you have a machine and the user manual is there. Either, you read it and you understand it correctly, or somebody comes and explains to you. Otherwise, if you keep using the machine in the wrong way, that can get corrupt. Something can go wrong there. That's what is happening in everyone's life. This life is meant for you to experience that happiness, to learn the lessons. Instead of that, you're only increasing your issues and you're getting more stressed. It's like using a machine without learning how to operate it. This gives you that manual. That's why we are calling Bhagavad Gita the manual of life. When we say manual of life, it is not restricted to only Bhagavad Gita. It is the entire ancient wisdom. Through this, the whole wisdom is only being given to you. So, Vyapashrayaha actually is an amazing construction which he has used here. If you just read that with this understanding, the whole thing which is happening inside will be shown to you like a movie. You can start watching your own inner movie. what all tricks the mind is playing, what is it seeking and where is it moving. Everything is condensed in that one construction, Vyapashraya. This is a work of a genius. See, without understanding all this, without this yogic approach, people, he is not dependent on anything, and then they move to the next verse. This should now change the very quality of your life, no? So the word Vyapashraya actually helps you to pause and look within and make a study of your own mind. So we'll stop with that here. I request you to reflect on the principles which have been given to you. See, Vyapashraya, we have divided into 4 parts. Shrayaha, that has a purpose in your sadhana. Ashrayaha, the emphasis. Apa-ashrayaha, how you're moving away. And then Vi-apashrayaha, Vyapashrayaha, is emphasizing, is wanting you to realize that. So you may be reading the scriptures for many years. You may say, I am a scholar, I am a pandit and all that. But the day you realize the tricks which your own mind is playing, the day you realize that you are moving away from the truth, that is when you start gaining true wisdom. That is the starting point of true wisdom. So the very construction of Vyapashraya is meant to put you onto the path of true wisdom. It forces you to reflect, to look within, study your own mind, see what is happening and realize that you're moving completely in the wrong direction. You're wanting one thing and you're moving somewhere else. And that is the reason for all the problems which you're facing in your life. It helps you to locate the root cause of all your problems. It's so true, no? A person wants to become rich, but he'll be a spendthrift. He'll never save anything, or he'll not put an effort to earn. He'll be moving in the opposite direction, but what he'll be wanting is richness. You see, in life, that's how you're always functioning. You want really a happy relationship with your spouse, but you will constantly be complaining, judging the person, being rude to that person. So you're moving away from a happy relationship, but what you're wanting is happiness from that relationship. In work, you want recognition, you want promotion, all that. But in practicality, you will not be working sincerely. You will not be putting your heart and soul into whatever you're doing. You're moving away from whatever you want. This is the weakness of the mind. This is another deadly tendency of the mind. The mind wants something, but it keeps moving in the opposite direction. See, the application of Vyapashraya is so varied. You can apply it in. That's why I gave you these 3 examples: one in finance, one in work, other in relationships, so that you start thinking about what you're doing in life. So in the spiritual path, you're wanting one thing basically in life, happiness and so, but you're moving in the opposite direction. You're doing everything which will give you stress only. Your attitude itself is like that. And then you're complaining, oh, I am not getting what I want. Why is God punishing me? Then somebody comes and tells you, it's all the stars, the planets, they are only responsible. So in a weak moment, you take in all the thoughts and you get confused. Even last week, I was answering that question, about youngsters getting married. On one hand, you say, I want a partner. But on the other hand, you develop various blocks which are taking you away from attracting the right partner. And then that causes so much of stress. You suffer because of that. So always see, you find out what am I seeking, but where am I moving? It will always be in the opposite direction. A yogi moves in the direction of whatever he is seeking. I am repeating myself. A yogi learns the technique of moving all his energies in the direction of whatever he is seeking. When I say all his energies, the thought energy, the energy of emotions, the energy of speech, the energy of actions, everything is aligned towards whatever he is wanting or seeking. That's how he materializes. Today you're wanting one thing, but your energies are running in the opposite directions. Your emotion is running in one place, your thoughts are running elsewhere, scattered. So Vyapashraya, if you really go into the depth of it, it helps you to conserve all your energies. And then how he is using that, we'll be seeing that there are no beings or objects which he is dependent on, which means he is dependent on something else. What it is, all that we'll see. Why do we say he is dependent on something else? Because Shrayaha is the very nature of the mind. You cannot be without shelter. Some inner shelter you require. Okay, so do this reflection and come back next week. We will go further how he is using this word Vyapashrayaha, and he is further explaining what are the things where you you put your energies in, how you're moving exactly in the wrong direction. All those messages are there in this line. So we will use the yogic approach and eke out all those messages. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana. There have been several questions asked about the Guru Purnima that I will take up after the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my real self. My higher self is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, as a sadhak, I choose to invest all my time and effort in the direction of my supreme goal. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. Today we had a very deep session. This awakens your inner questioning, which is so important to gain the higher wisdom. Okay, so I will take up one or two questions asked about Guru Purnima. First of all, the Guru Purnima session, the Guru Purnima falls on 29th of this month, July. But we will be having the Guru Purnima session on 26th, Sunday. As I told you, it is not actually only on 29th, or it's not like that. The whole month that way is Guru Purnima. And for a yogi, every moment is a Guru Purnima only. Whenever you are connected to your Guru, to the Guru Shakti, it's a Guru Purnima moment for you. So we will be having the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima on 26th of this month, Sunday. And then I'll give you instructions there. You can do the same meditation again on 29th. So I'll be giving a lot of healing. So it's going to be extremely powerful. A lot of Shakti will be awakened. So you can benefit fully from that. Many blocks can go away. See, once the Guru Shakti is awakened, anything is possible. So-called miracles and all will become a normal part of your life. Believe me. So true, you know. It's just about your attunement only. So you can make a note of that. Anyway, I think the details are being provided, the website and all that. Now, many questions have been asked. Some people have asked, what is the significance of Guru Purnima? All that anyway we will see on that session. One question is, sir, do we need to do any special preparation for Guru Purnima session? No need to worry about that. That special preparation is being done for you through these Sunday sessions. In the Nididhyasana meditation itself, I'm sending you the preparatory energy also. A lot is being done in the background. So every day, see, your part is every day you do your sadhana properly. That is more than enough. The rest, you leave it to the Guru Shakti. So through these Nididhyasana meditations, a lot of preparation is being done. Okay. Another question which has been asked is, dear Yogishri, what should be the right attitude when we give Guru Dakshina? See, I'm taking up that question to just give you a small point. That is, many people think that, Guru Purnima means merely saying thanks to the Guru. And it's not just the thanks and, it's not that. It's getting connected to the Guru Shakti. So when you want to develop spiritually, what happens is we need to clear our karmic debts. So you go to a Guru in order to burn off all your karmas. But then you are receiving that wisdom. So how do you absolve yourself of those karmas? For that purpose, the system of Guru Dakshina was kept. See, a true Guru, as he says in this verse, he says, this person is totally not dependent on beings, objects. So a true master will not be dependent on anyone, anything. So the principle of Guru Dakshina comes out of gratitude. So they use two words, Guru Prasadam and Guru Dakshina. So whatever the Guru gives, they called it as Prasadam, the higher energy, the wisdom, everything. So when you receive all that, the Guru is giving so selflessly. So when you receive all that, automatically that feeling of gratitude will come. So Guru Dakshina is not, first of all, it shouldn't be translated as fees. Dakshina also has another meaning, fees, but Guru Dakshina is not fees. Guru Dakshina is an offering. It's an offering out of gratitude. So that should be your attitude. It's actually a sadhana. When you express that gratitude, the bhavana is most important. Without bhavana, the external act of giving Guru Dakshina has no meaning. But when the sadhak does, builds that bhavana, that elevates the consciousness. So, what should you avoid? Don't be too calculative. How much? Do it from your heart. See, when the master is giving you the wisdom, he gives it from the heart fully. No big calculations. If at all he calculates, he only sees how much can the student take. If it's overdosed, the student should not get into any issues. That is the only calculation he makes. Similarly, we are indebted to all our gurus. This very less lectures which are being taken, I am doing it only as a Guru Dakshina for all the great masters from whom I have received this wisdom. So it is that gratitude which matters. So what should be your approach? That of gratitude. It's a very sacred sadhana. Maintain that purity. No compulsion, no force, nothing. It is just an opportunity to express your gratitude. That's all. Okay. So since you asked that, I'm mentioning this. Even that act should be done as a sadhana. Everything should be converted into sadhana. You receive this wisdom. That should also be a sadhana for you. So come with a free mind. I want you to genuinely receive the higher grace. And as I told you, any miracle is possible. The blocks which you may have accumulated for many, many births can just get dismantled in just one session also. I've seen that happening in many cases. So the relationship should be one of unconditional love. So the exchange of energy, whether the wisdom which and then the guru is giving, or whether the Guru Dakshina which the student is offering, that give and take should be done in a sattvic way. We saw that in Parasparam principle, the exchange of energy. So the exchange of energy facilitates more, the spiritual growth. Okay. Few others have also asked questions about, Vyasa's birthday, whether that is what is the meaning of Guru Purnima. It's not merely that. I'll explain that during the Guru Purnima sadhana day itself. So this is going to be a yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima, not mere external celebrations. So you're going to intensify the energy, intensify the sadhana. So come prepared for that. Okay. Anyway, I think we have one more session before the Guru Purnima. So any other question you have, you can ask. All your clarifications will anyway be answered. Ultimately, the Guru Shakti will answer everything from within you. In case you don't get answers from outside, don't worry. The Guru is always awake. That principle is always awake within you also. Whichever is the best way of removing your ignorance, it will be done. Okay. So we will meet in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.